Now, as we've learned, you can make the illusion of motion just with any images that seem to change a little bit over time. So I have some images on my computer that I just took with my phone. I was just walking down the hall. I would take one step and take a picture, take another step, and take a picture. So I'm going to show you a couple of free tools online that will allow me to turn those series of images into a GIF. The first one is pretty popular. It's called Giphy, Giphy. Now, one of the reasons this one is pretty cool is because you can also host your images on Giphy if you need to just paste a link. So let's create one really quick. Choose Photos or GIFs. And you'll see that I've been tinkering with this already because it automatically went to the correct folder. And so I'll select my first image, and then I'll hold Shift and select my last image. The order in which you select this is usually pretty important. So if I hit Open, it's going to take it a few minutes because it has to upload all of those images. But in a second, it's going to try to generate a GIF image for me. So using all of those images, it's holding each of them 1 second as it plays through them. To me, that's too long. I want to use maybe like 1/3 of a second or something like that. Let's move this down to like 0.4. And that feels like a little bit better of a speed, maybe even 0.3. Yeah, that's working better. So the cool thing about this is I'm pretty much done. If I hit Continue to decorate, I can add some decorations, but really that's not that impressive. There's some filters, or I could even draw on top of it. But whenever I'm done with that, I just hit Continue to upload, and it'll allow me to upload that image to Giphy and create a link for it. So if I hit Upload, and the first time it plays through, it kind of messes up, but then after that, it actually works pretty well. Now, you can hit Copy the link. I could right-click on it and save the GIF, or I can embed it into the discussion post. So any of these will work as a way of sharing this image. Another way of doing this is the other link that is in D2L. It's called easygif.com. And they have a GIF maker that works very similar, but has a little bit more control. So I can choose my files, I'll choose the same section again, upload and make the GIF. So it may take a few minutes to upload, but once it does, we get all of these images up on the site, and it gives us an option for the amount of time we want to delay it. And then we saw earlier that about 30% was pretty good, or 1/30th of a second. So let's make the GIF now. It takes it a second to generate the GIF. But when it does, it's going to be really big. It's going to be the same size as each of our images. And that's just going to be a little heavy in terms of something you would want to share on the internet. Okay, so there's our GIF, but again, it's a little big, it's a little slow. You'll see that it's 12 megabytes just for an image. So let's make this smaller and let's make it more optimized. So I can click this resize button and it will give us the option to scale this down. I'm going to scale this to something like 30% of the original image. If I hit resize image, you'll see it's much smaller now and much smaller in terms of file size. Now, I can also still optimize this even more by clicking this optimize button. This will allow us to compress the image a little bit. So I'll put this about 40% compression, say optimize GIF. And so now our final GIF, even though it's got a little bit of artifacts in it, is less than a megabyte. At this point, I can hit save, and I can just download the GIF to my computer. And this will allow us to upload this to the discussion board. I think it's important to remember that the reason we perceive this as motion works whether we're looking at photographs or whether we're looking at drawings or whether we're looking at 3D rendered images that are coming out of Maya. It's the illusion that this image is moving, but really it's just a bunch of pixels that are changing over time.